Chris, can you hear us? She's on, but I can't see or hear her. Normally she's visible with her camera.
Nothing yet.
She's there, Chris? Oh, she disappeared. There we go. Chris?
Oh, for test today. CT scan, but they put something in my hand. They didn't tell me that. Oh, they came. Make sure you're okay.
I thought she was going to Smith.
Are you going to be away next week?
Thursday through Saturday.
Okay. So if you want to try and meet to, once you've researched the bank account stuff, we can meet sometime before.
Early in the week, yeah.
Is she still available? No.
Chris, it says she's in the meeting, but I don't see or hear her.
Chris, can you hear us?
We'll try texting her.
Yeah, just so. We'll start because we got some stuff to pay for. Okay, we're going to start the October 17th. You got me thinking about October 17th Hcdpa meeting. Logan, can you do a roll, please?
Yep. Mayor Johnson,
Present.
Chairwoman Teresa Joining,
Present.
Majority Leader Morris,
Present.
Minority Leader Marati,
Here.
and Housing Authority Chairwoman Rapana Smith.
Here.
Thank you. Everybody get a chance to read the minutes Logan sent to us?
Yeah.
Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
Motion.
A second.
All in favor? Thank you, motion passed. Is Chris available?
It says she's present for the meeting, but
Hey, well, let me know if what you text her, Margaret.
I don't have hers talking.
I don't believe I do either.
There she is.
Yeah.
Here she.
Yeah, we're just gonna give up on this.
Two screens open, Chris. That's
Yeah, I know,
right.
I'm working on it. Yeah, I don't know, for some reason it wouldn't let me in.
You're good now, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I can't
Okay.
see it well, but means must.
Preaching to choir on that one. Logan, admin report?
So in the admin report, I just have the HHA purchasing agreement. I put that on the agenda before the email I got today, kind of breaking down their view on things. And I believe they mentioned that they're going to have a meeting next Monday, right? So I'm not sure how much we should go over in this meeting because I didn't have it 24 hours in advance, not posted online.
Okay, so the current agreement ends at the end of the month anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of close. So, and they're going to be talking about it on Monday, you said? Okay, so I think we have to do a special meeting, right? What do you think? Great.
Because the payment is due at the end of October, which is before our next meeting.
Right.
We didn't do a special meeting when Gavin owed all that money.
I'm sorry?
We didn't do a special meeting when Gavin owed all that money. What is the point of having to do a special meeting?
But I think this is because it's a contract and we have our own property tied up to it, I think. I think the Galvin
if-
situation is different.
Mr. Chairman, if the HHA exercises its option as it did last time, the board doesn't need to take an action. There is a right to exercise the option on payment of the $25,000. If that's what HHA does, there isn't anything that you need to do. The communication that was submitted today, though, by the developer indicated that they were looking for Hcdpa to modify the agreement to allow an additional 30 to 60 days for the exercise of that third option period and presumably for payment of the $25,000. And in order to do that, that would require a board action on the part of Hcdpa.
So,
If the board even wanted to entertain that, right? So,
Chris, could we ask them to go ahead and make their payment per the current agreement? And like give them an extension for whatever deliberations are coming back with their plans, etc. Sometime in November, but expect them to make the payment in October.
well, I mean, I think that's up to the board, what you want to ask them to do. I mean, I don't even know if the board, the HHA board is asking for that extension or if that was the developer.
so that's what's confusing, because our contract's with HHA, and then what the correspondence we got from the developer for an extension.
Correct.
So, I'm not comfortable getting an extension to the developer when the developer wasn't initially on,
They're not part of the contract.
right? I think the best thing to do is see what happens after Monday and see what HHA wants to do with it. Because, I mean, either way, the option is over at the end of the month, right? So they have to figure out on Monday what they want to do to, come back to us to see if they want to expand it or, satisfy the contract or expand it or however they want to deal with it on Monday. Because I don't think we can entertain anything fiduciary with a third party that's not involved in our contract. Is that true, Chris?
Well, you can have whatever discussions you want, but I think as you say, your contract is with HHA. So you need to understand what HHA wants to do, I think.
So I think what Dominic's proposing is we wait until after the HHA meeting on Monday to see what it is they decide to do. But there isn't really anything else we can do right now.
Right. I mean, they might come back and say, we want, we don't want it, and then they'll pay us, and then come back and say they want another property that they, the ideal property that they want. But if the agreement totally changed, and we don't know what is going to happen. So, okay, so I think right now we should just table this.
Sure.
Right? Everybody comfortable with that?
Yeah, I just want to understand really quick. So if HHA goes ahead with payment, we don't need a special meeting. They just renew for that third year. If they don't, and if they're asking for an extension of that, we will need a special meeting to deliberate that.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
That's correct, Chris, right?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they can come back and pay the 25 and then say, we want an option on that one property that they're interested in. And then we can, figure out what that looks like, right? Because I think initially they were looking at one property, right? One property, I think, right? They were really looking at. So who knows what they want to do? So I think that's probably the best thing to do. Okay.
Okay, I understand.
But before we leave this issue, you may want as a board to look at the other recommendations or suggestions that were being made and consider whether at your next meeting you want to invite somebody to talk about, those kinds of options, how those programs work and so forth. Because I don't think anybody on the board is familiar with how that would work.
Yeah, I think that's, I love the option of, home ownership. And you're right. I think that's a good idea if we invite them. Because it could be a Section 8 program of home ownership. I don't know what kind of program they're talking about, but I think it's a great program for home ownership. So yeah, if we, maybe Logan, invite them to our next meeting.
Yeah, so if we do end up doing a special meeting, inviting someone.
Well, no, I don't think we need it for the special meeting, right? Chris, we could just invite them to the
Yeah, I was
next meeting,
thinking
right?
about your next regular meeting.
Right, because the special meetings are different. If we have to do some kind of special meeting, that's gonna be totally different on a different topic.
Mhm.
It's only gonna be about this contract. Right, Chris?
I mean, it's up to the board, but I was just suggesting that for your next regular meeting, you might want to have invite somebody who has expertise in the area to come and talk with you about these ideas.
Right, okay, I agree. Everybody else agree with that?
Yes,
Yeah. And again, I don't know if we need a special meeting. Again, it all depends on what.
depends what happens on Monday.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay. Okay, so we're at the financial report.
Yep. So, we have 2 bills for approval. We have here. We have an invoice for 1,020 for admin services and for Logan, and we have an invoice for 375 for legal services. So do we have a motion to approve the bills?
Can I get a motion to approve the bills?
A motion, so moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone in favor? Motion
And then also Logan and I met before the finance meeting to look at balancing some things in the checkbooks and in various accounts. We have a couple of items where there seems to be some kind of lag with what's in the bank account crossing over into QuickBooks. We had an issue with that last month. So I didn't sign off on reconciliation today because he's going to investigate that. We will meet between now and sometime early next week to get that resolved and reconciled. But there's the bank account and QuickBooks are not in sync. So,
Yeah, basically the bank account itself on the bank website is in sync and everything looks right and in order. And that's not translating to our QuickBooks Online, which they're,
Right.
connected online. So that's our issue, and we need to talk to the bank about where that lag is happening.
So also on the finance side, the finance committee met at 3:30. Logan has put together a proposed budget for 2025. We went through line by line, revenue and expenditures and so forth. We had a couple of requests for restructuring how the information is displayed. So we're not going to go through that today. We're going to have a revised version from Logan, which we will, right before our next meeting, we'll present this, and then we should be able to vote on. The part of the thing that we want to see reflected here is that the monies from the accounts, the HTF, Housing Trust Fund grant accounts, that actually fund the monies that we then pay to the Housing Trust Fund don't get reflected anywhere. They're not really revenue, but they also don't get reflected in this worksheet. So it looks like a deficit of 155,000, but actually the money in the grant. So what we want to do is have a backup sheet that shows where the money is coming from, that covers the expenditures in the Hcdpa account. So a couple of just minor things. There was also something we wanted to look up as to exactly which account some of these dollar amounts are. But we will have that for the full committee next month.
And to take out the,
Excuse me?
and we want to take out the $25,000 out of revenue, not.
Right. So there's the other change structurally, the 25,000 from HHA has been reflected as a revenue on this sheet, which it isn't. Because what it really is, as Teresa was saying, and really closer to some kind of escrow account that we have on hold, and in the event that a sale goes through, then those monies would be applied to that sale. So it's not, that should not be showing up as revenue because it's not.
Yeah.
So there's a few structural things like that that Logan's gonna work on, and then we'll have that for you next month. That's all I have on finance.
Thanks, so we're at the next meeting.
Yes, correct.
Right,
Be
thank
ready for a vote on the next meeting.
Thank you. And new business, floodplain. The only thing that I have is that, Barbara and I, we talked about it in the legal committee to move,
Oh, that's correct.
the
Yeah.
the floodplain responsibility to
Council.
code enforcement.
Oh, code enforcement.
Yeah, code enforcement,
That
right.
makes the most
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Crystal's gonna look at revising the code, so like.
And from my understanding, our application is still outstanding because the project's not done.
Correct.
Now, will the money go with the movement?
No,
Or we
this
keep
project
the
would
money?
fit, no, this project would fit.
There is no money.
No, they
The
pay-
escrow.
That's what,
Oh,
they
yeah.
pay 5,000.
No, no, the money will stay where it is, but
Yeah,
it's
just
just
be for future.
going
Okay.
forward.
Oh,
we
we're
don't
gonna
want-
keep this one as a future.
Going forward, we don't
Yeah,
want to
okay.
have to do.
There's a handful in the hopper right now, you know.
Yeah, so the Hcdpa will see this through and future sort of obligations
Mhm.
will be code enforcement, whatever common council decides.
Okay, next is a done warehouse.
No update that the files have been moved. We need to check in. But he did say they're pretty busy, so he gave us about a month span of when they're gonna start moving those files.
I believe it started already.
They did start.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they're moving them to one of the cemeteries.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the one that has heating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they'll give me a key so I can start doing that processing and working with the clerks on that.
Another update I just want to mention because it came up in BEA when we talked about applying for a grant for a record. So in the budget that Logan's put together, and you said we weren't successful last time.
Yeah.
We've put in a potential revenue source of getting a grant for record keeper, which then just rolls directly into expense. We'll see if we get it.
Yeah.
That we put that into the budget.
Awesome.
Well, that's great, especially since we have an isolated location of project to be done. That'd be great. I just heat and light.
Well, the house that, for the files, that's kind of a temporary holding
Right.
area just to get through them and sort them out. That's
Right.
not a permanent home.
Yeah, so I think what that will kind of look like is me starting that process, because that's gonna be happening soon, and the grants, that money's not gonna be available until 2025. So I'm gonna be working through some of those files before any of that happens.
Mhm. We still gotta find a place to put them afterwards, right?
Yeah, depending on their size, I mean, they could potentially go in the basement of City Hall.
Because they're gonna be consolidated
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
From what I hear, a lot of them are destroyed.
for water damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of, Rob was saying that one stack of them, there was a broken pipe and there's considerable
Yeah.
water damage.
Yeah, some of them were kind of stacked nicely, and then others were just under a tarp. So a pretty mixed match.
Yeah.
Yeah. And HTF is not on the agenda because you guys didn't meet this month, right?
Yeah.
So no updates or anything like that.
But Logan, just make sure when you go through that, since water damage, where the maps. If you go through those papers, because you don't know, what I mean? If you open, if there's water damage, you don't know what's going on, so I would wear like a N95 mask.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't mean like a Halloween mask. So no new business, so we got public comment?
Are we gonna discuss the meeting for next month, being in Atlanta on Thanksgiving? Or-
Yeah, we will have.
Oh, we're having turkey.
No, we're not.
So you was expecting.
Yeah, everyone bring your family.
It's gonna be TV dinner. Yeah, we were thinking about a week earlier, right? So the thought was.
Yeah, I'm pretty open all November, so if we're moving it around, off the email, everyone's availability, move from there. But typically what we've done is the week before, after, the week after, probably won't be November, so that's not gonna work. So try the week before, and see everyone's availability. But I'll do that, I'll
What
email
day is
people
that
so
gonna be?
people.
14th?
I'm available that day if it works.
November?
I don't know.
November
That's
7th.
isn't it a
It's a
Sunday?
Thursday. It's a Thursday before.
Are you talking about the 21st?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a conflict. I have a meeting at 3. 3, for like an hour at least.
okay, so 4:30 wouldn't work?
Pardon me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we made it at 4:30.
3. Why do I have that at 3? Oh, no, I think it's at 4. That one's at 4. That's the problem. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Wait, why don't
yeah,
you send an email out and get people's time?
Yeah, I don't want to put anyone on the spot right now, so I'll send an email, get everyone's sort of availability that way.
thank you.
Look on the city, you just look on the city calendar and make sure.
Yeah, make sure that,
I just wanted to bring up one small item, relating to your budget. Going through the whole BA process, so I'm taking notes. There's a very minor discrepancy in the salary listed. It's like off by 150 from what Heather calculated the CSCA contract, so you're gonna see $150 difference, which we're gonna make, we have to make this to our budget. It's very trivial. Yeah, give it to them.
Good, no public comment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All
Aye.
in favor?
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Wait.
Thank you. Bye-bye.